Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on Parks Investigative Live with your host, Investigator Parks, alongside special guest, Meridian Mayoral candidate, Mr. Robert J. Ray. Mr. Ray, welcome back to the program.
Hey, I'm excited to be here again.
Absolutely. Now, let's say 1 week from tonight, we will be hopefully the citizens of Meridian will be selecting their new mayor, the one they would choose to lead the city of Meridian for the next 4 years. How do you feel your chances are so far?
I feel like that will be me. I think once the people analyze and listen to each one of the candidates and what they have to bring to the city of Meridian, how they're going to make the city grow and prosper. The other two candidates don't have anything but some ideas in their head. On the other hand, me, I've got my process. Matter of fact, I was fixing people's lives when Lindemann was 2 years old. I was fixing men's life out at the prison. And he hadn't done anything. He's just a young, naive individual that came out of high school and got lucky and fortunate enough to fall into that particular job that he had. And he's really a college dropout if you just look at it. And I mean, he don't really have the wisdom. He don't have he don't know the genius of the black man and the black race. He knows none of this stuff. So how is he going to lead a race of people that he don't even understand and haven't even walked in their shoes and don't know anything about how to fix these people and get them what they need to get? So that's one thing I'm saying. And in my process, it has been proven to work. I fixed 100 black men and white men out at the prison, and they went out of prison, got out of prison, and went on back home and never came back to prison and took care of their families and all of that. I wouldn't even knew that, but I knew that they was out there and they wasn't coming back because I've used the process before, and it's successful. It always have a return. It never comes back empty. It never comes back failure. And but it was GEO who made me understand just how this process and how solid it was, because they had us do a survey to find out where all of these black men were that didn't come back to prison. So I did the survey and found out that these men was out there opening their own business. They saw them around here in the city that has stopped me and told me they opened their own business and they were doing great, which I say I didn't think he would be doing anything else. Because now you got a process to make you rational and successful. And this process can be used from the elementary schools all the way up to the high school and on up to college if you wanted to use it that way. But if I was going to use it for the police officers, and that's what I was going to do, that's the first thing I would do, is start a 24 a week, 3-hour session a week with the police officers. When they get through those 24 sessions in 3 hours, they are different people. They are people that can go anywhere and be a police officer and lead and be the number one police officer there. Say, for instance, the first session that I would do would be similar this summer. 20 police officers, and some of them probably hadn't even talked to each other. Some of them probably have been working in the police department for years and hadn't really known each other or anything about it. So I have a similar, dissimilar. I tell them to look around the room, find the person who's most similar to you. They'll do that. They'll go together. They'll talk for a little while, 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Then I ask them to look for people that they think is most dissimilar to them. Then they'll get with those and they'll talk a while. And then I say, now you're going to give you a 4 to 5 minute autobiography of your life. And a lot of people say, well, that ain't long enough to give. But you'll find out that once you start talking about your life and giving them some of them would be finished before the 4 minutes or so. But what we would be trying to get them to understand is we ask them after that, what happened to you doing that exercise? And then they have all kind of answers. Most of them will say, well, I got more comfortable. I didn't know so-and-so was like me. I didn't know that individual there had came up the same way that I had come up with. And this is letting them know that movement brings relief. That's what this session would be about. After they did this thing, now they knew all about each other. They say, well, hey, we're similar the same. Now, you're talking about 5 white females, 5 black females, 5 white males, and 5 black males. After that one session, they're going to be more in harmony and more cohesive than they've ever been in their life with their other police officers. And then after that first session, we tell them that movement brings relief, and which it does. If you stew and you get up and go somewhere and do something, you'll get relief. And then that's equals success. That equals being a good peace officer. And that's what they're going to be once they go through this process. And then after that, we give them the norms. We're going to have them to cork the jug, no drinking during this time when you come to group, no alcoholism, no addiction, no withdrawal, no dependence. Be there on time for those 24 sessions, and eat a dinner before you get there so you have your energy in place. So if it's the morning, eat a breakfast. Then you got your energy in place, and then you're ready to go. And then after that, when we do that session, then we ask each officer, what did you become aware of in this session about yourself? Now, you go around, 20 people go around and say what they became aware about themselves, then you became aware of all of those things about yourself also. Now, you're a light year ahead of where you were when you came in there scared and tense and anxious. Now you're a light year ahead of where you were in just 1 3-hour session. Just think where you're going to be after 24 a 3-hour session. You're going to be one of the most aware persons on the planet. You're going to be the most aware police officers anywhere in the world. And you're going to be able to use that same process with your family. You're going to be a better husband. You're going to be a better father. Just because you went through those sessions there. And I'm going to just give you one more session, and then we'll go on to something else. The next session they come to, then a week, then this is going to be the projection exercise, where I give them something to feel with the hands, something to listen to. I'll crack something, I'll break something, and then I give them something to smell. And then we go around the room, ask all the same officers, what did you feel? What did you hear? And what did you smell? And what did you feel? And each one of them will give what they felt. But what you're going to find out is that each one of them could have a different answer. It's the same object they felt, but they're going to have a different answer for it, because this is the projection exercise where you try to find out what did you understand about what you felt and what you heard and what you saw. And this is what makes individuals know that, hey, we all came from different backgrounds. So we'll have different feelings about different things. This is called the projection exercise. And once they do the projection exercise, then they understand that that's the reason that we are different, because we come up in a different lifestyle, a different neighborhood, a different race. And whatever you call one thing, we may have called it another thing. But it just lets you see that, hey, we're all normal, and all our answers was right, even though we didn't answer the same thing. But all the answers was right according to your upbringing and where you was raised at. And then what we do then is that we do a stimulus, where we ask everybody what did they we ask them to we do a circle where we have one person we have half of them in the circle, half of them out. We ask them to observe what did this person say about projection, and give us everything that he said and done. What you'll find out is that the people on the outside, they'll try to interpret what they think the person gonna say or what the person was thinking. And this is wrong. This is why a lot of police officers get victimized, and how other people, because they feel like if he's gonna do that, or she's gonna do that, or he had a knife in his hand and he was gonna cut somebody. That's not true. That's just coming out of you. You saying that. The individual with the knife and stuff, he may have just had it for a bluff. He may not even think about cutting anybody with it. But your projection is that, hey, he got a knife in his hand, he's going to cut somebody, And this is how people get in trouble. They project things. And this is how people get killed. This is how the individual up there that they killed up there, the police shot him in the back of the head. They projected that he had the car and he was going to try to run over one of them. When it was shown on camera that he was trying to get away in the car. And like I said, told some people that if they wanted, on the show, I think I told Roger and them that on WALT. I said if they were sincere about not wanting to kill another human being, they could have shot his tires out. He couldn't have went anywhere. You ever tried to drive a car with the tires shot out with the flat? You can't go anywhere. And then they could have waited right down, walked right down that way he stopped at and picked him up. But they chose to shoot him in the back of the head. They wanted to kill the individual. They was projecting things into him. And that's what happened when you project things. People get victimized, people get hurt, people get killed. And after this session, then we asked to say, what did you become aware of about yourself in this projection exercise? After 20 people give their projection, can you imagine the corporate mind, everything that they became aware of out of that projection session? Now, after those 2 sessions, these police officers are right year ahead of the rest of the police officers in the station. So you can imagine what these individuals are going to be like after 22 more sessions of different exercises that we put them through.
Okay. All right. Guys, if you just now joined us, you're watching Parks Investigative Live. I'm your host, Investigator Parks, special guest, Meridian Mayoral candidate, Mr. Robert J. Ray. Robert J. Ray is basically explaining his plan, if elected mayor of the city of Meridian, and that's the organism, Chapter 4. And he's also giving a little synopsis of some of his ideas, what he wants to bring to the table. Had a text sent to my phone, Mr. Ray. I'll go ahead and ask you that while I have you here on live. The question is, if you're unsuccessful in winning the mayoral race, are you still willing to work with the next mayor with this Chapter 4? And I think they misspelled what they're trying to say, but basically, are you trying to share this plan with the mayor if you're unsuccessful?
No, I can't, because I have to have complete control. I can't work under somebody, and I'm trying to give the process like my mentor told me to give it, train me to give it out. And when you work it under someone else, it's hard to do it. It was hard for me to do it out at the prison there. It took a long time for me to get them to understand the process has to be done the way that it was created to be done. And if you get somebody in there bringing in these intellectual whores trying to tell them, well, why don't you do this way? Or why don't you split these sessions up? Or why don't you do that? And see, it would just be too much energy for me to even consider doing it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ray, you answer a couple of questions, and I know you're excited about the big day on next Tuesday, June the 8th, for the municipal general election.
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday. Well, happy early birthday, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be too busy for us to really shout out to you. You're going to be watching those votes in those precincts. So if we don't say it from here, from Parks Investigative Live, happy early birthday, and I'll send you a text or try to send you a text on that day as well. You willing to tell us how old you're going to be?
I'm going to be 75.
75. My God, I tell you, he's definitely been you're definitely blessed to one to be a.
It's the process. I mean, it teaches you how to eat. It teaches you how to take care of your health. Teach you how to take care of your meal thing and everything. And so you just kind of flow through life in an orderly manner. And that's what it's all about. Okay.
All right, Mr. Ray, I did get a chance to listen in on your interview on 102.1 The Eagle, and I've heard some of the questions that was asked. And again, you didn't shy away from your answers. You was very blunt, and you basically spoke what's on your mind. So I just want to piggyback off some of that. What was your thoughts after that interview with those two gentlemen there at 102.1?
Well, I think they grew some, because see, they are into this delusion that they are not racist. Yeah, and they get on there and they have their fun every morning, and they perpetuate a lot of projections coming from where they are, and they confuse people. I mean, probably 80% of the stuff that they say on there is untrue. It's just things that it's just a delusion that they're in, and they put that delusion out there to other people. Like he asked me, was he racist? Well, am I racist? I say, sure, you're racist. I say, because you was born here in Mississippi, and everybody born in Mississippi is racist. And I say, you didn't have any black friends that come over your house when you was young and come to your family's affairs and things like this. This is what friendship is all about. And he had to agree with that he didn't. And this is what it's all about. White people think just because they work with you or they talk to you a few times that they're your friend. But that's not friendship. All that is association. He's an associate of mine. It's like a lot of people say, well, I'm not racist because I work with black people that are on the job. We go to lunch together. We go to dinner. I hear it all the time when I was working at the prison out there. But that's not friends going to dinner with somebody or going to lunch with somebody. That's just y'all going out to lunch together. That's all it is. That's no friendship. And I think they kind of understood that they were racist, and that they hadn't had any black friends coming up. And I told them, I said, because your dad and your granddad wouldn't allow that. And although they didn't really come out and say that this is the genuine truth, when they don't say it, then you know that you hit them right in the forehead with the truth.
All right. Y'all excuse my special guest there. Mr. Ray, I gotta piggyback off our conversation on last time you was on live, and I don't mean to rehash anything negative. Of course, I don't think you thought it was negative, but the comments, the famous comments that made national news about the dumbest kids on the planet, that's been the talk around town. Even when you show up to your debates and your forums, and even on the live screen here in the radio station. People, I feel like you lost momentum after those comments. Where do you stand now? Do you regret making that, being as blunt as you were, or do you still double down?
You don't have to ever regret speaking the genuine truth. I would rather lose the mayor long as I knew that I told the truth, the genuine truth, all the way through there, because I can live with myself then. I can look myself in the mirror and I can be comfortable with who I see. The fact is that if your state is known as the #1 state for being the uneducated, being the dumbest, stupidest state in America, what else can your students be doing? I mean, it's got to be showing somewhere, and it always shows at the bottom. And the bottom is Meridian. The city of Meridian is at the bottom of the Mississippi state far as dumbness is concerned, far as uneducation is concerned, and far as stupidness is concerned. Because they do a lot of stupid stuff here in Meridian. We just had individuals come out here and was shooting today. Riding around in cars shooting at people. I mean, that happens all over. But here in Meridian, it's just a sad, irrational thing for a little young black men to be doing, because that they're destroying their life in the process.
Right. I'm just going to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to play that clip again for those who are tuning in for the first time. Is it okay if we play that clip? Okay.
Sure.
Stand by.
Meridian have the dumbest kids on the planet down in Meridian. And I know because I've observed them, I've looked at them, I've watched them.
The guests attending Tuesday's mayoral forum couldn't believe what Republican candidate Robert Ray said when he was asked about spending stimulus funds. I couldn't believe it either and gave him a chance to explain.
I just wanted to give you a chance to clear that up and make sure we're hearing that the correct way.
There's nothing to clear up. We got the dumbest kids on the planet here in Mississippi. You can tell that way to school. We rated the lowest schools. What determines whether a kid is dumb or not?
Well, those give credit to WTOK and their news anchor for bringing that story a few weeks ago, and again, that story did make national headlines. Mr. Ray was behind the famous quote of the dumbest kids on the planet. So Mr. Ray haven't backed down for those comments, and he explained on the program last time of why he made those that what I would say now famous quote, and he gave some synopsis, some reasons based off statistics that he had from the educational side of it to show why he said Meridian had some of the dumbest kids on the planet. But Mr. Ray, I would say, I had the privilege of being at the graduation here in Meridian on last Friday. And there was a lot of kids graduated with high honors, highest honors, I should say. And 8 of the top 10 top graduates of high school were African American children, male and female. So I guess with that being said, when you say that Meridian has some of the dumbest kids on the planet, are you just speaking in general or across the board?
I'm speaking, it's mostly in general and across the board, because the reason is because even though those individuals graduated with high honors, their educational curriculum has been toned down. And I mean, by that it's been dumbed down. Back when they first started that testing thing, Meridian couldn't pass those tests. They were always coming up F and D. So the white supremacists said, we got to do something about that. Instead of getting more teachers in there better trained, they went and dumbed down the curriculum. So these students, they think they're getting a good education. But if you were to put those same 10 students up against some students that graduated out of the county schools, like just regular graduates, I would bet you anything that those white schools and graduates would beat them at any kind of debate that you would want to name. Anything, math, science, anything. And I bet they would do that. And somebody should do that just to prove the point. If Meridian students are supposed to be as smart as the other students, then somebody should do a experiment with that and just see if these top 10 students. Now I know the little Patel guy. His brother was the valedictorian at the same school, I think it was, and they are Indian kids, and these Indian kids, they are forced, they pushed to excel, and that's why why it couldn't have been a black guy couldn't have been the valedictorian. Why is that?
Well, of course, they go by the highest score, and and I'm pretty sure, the gentleman who was the valedictorian had the highest overall score out of his 12th grade class. But let me just go. A viewer said, "Dumb means lacking intelligence or good judgment. I wouldn't necessarily say that the kids are dumb. Every child has to apply themselves, and it also starts at home. Would you want your own children to be labeled as dumb?"
If they was dumb, yes, because then I would have to do something about it. But instead of these parents thinking about what can we do to get our kids up the par, they want to kill me, the messenger, the one that's telling the genuine truth. I'm telling them exactly what needs to take place in their children's life. Because like you say, they're not going to have the right judgment. They're going to be making the wrong judgment. That's why you have so many little girls getting pregnant around here. They ain't got no business getting pregnant around here, but they do. And one of the reasons for that is that they see these other pregnant girls. Oh, they get in a car. They get driving a car. Oh, they get money every month. They get food stamps every month. I don't have to go to college in order to get me an apartment. See, that's the thinking down here in Meridian. And that's what they are thinking about. And that's why it's dumb. It's dumb to think that way. That just, if you have a baby, then you can get out from under your mama now, and then you can get your own apartment. Then you can have your boyfriend over there and make more babies, get more checks, get more food stamps. If that ain't dumb, I don't know what is.
So in the chapter 4, the organism, is it something in there to address what your something to articulate your arguments?
Yes, it would fix all of that. If the females that went through this process, they would not get pregnant. I did some sessions with Ricky Hood's a group over there. And when I went in there, they were just like wild monkeys and everything running crazy around in there. And I got them and quieted them down, and I did 6 sessions with them. And then here come the intellectual whores in there. We can't pay him he don't have no college degree. We can't pay him no $50 a session. We don't make that much. And so Ricky said that they wasn't gonna pay me. Although I had got these 6 sessions, these kids were ahead of any kids anywhere in Mississippi, and they was getting ready to grow. And we had to cut it out. That's what happened to black kids. They don't have any supportive system. And Ricky, Mr. Hood told him, said, hey, these kids is acting better than they've ever acted before. Why don't we just keep it? They wouldn't do it. They didn't want to pay me $50 when they pay a white psychologist $150 just to take care of one of their kids. And I had 20, 25 in there and taking care of them with this process. And that's the way it went. But a year later, I was somewhere and this girl came up to me and she said, you don't remember me, do you, Mr. Ray? I said, no, I don't. She said, I was in that group you did over there at Mr. Hood's place over there. And she said, if I had been able to go through that process, I wouldn't have never got pregnant. Yeah, that really made me feel excited and happy, but it made me sad too that she had got pregnant. And that's what I'm saying. If you get awareness that you need, and you get process and understanding about who you are and why you are who you are. You probably have never heard anybody ask that question before. But you have to find out who you are and why you are who you are. And then you can start from there to fix whatever's wrong with it. Because it's hard not to come from these families here and not be dysfunctional. And this process fixes all of that. It prepares you to go out and do anything that you want to do, be successful with.
Okay, guys, again, if you're just now joining, if you joined the program late, you're watching Parks Investigative Live via StreamYard, broadcasted on Facebook, and also my YouTube channel, which is Investigative Live as well. Andrea, I see your comment. Thank you so much for the nice comment you said about my little helper. He always likes to jump in to the camera. I guess he got a little of his dad in him, I guess. But they said the apple don't fall from the tree. So maybe he'll be taking over this one day. So again, guys, we got special guest, Mr. Robert J. Ray. The election is exactly 1 week from tonight. Next week, this time, hopefully around 9 o'clock, we should the citizens of Meridian should know who will be the next mayor to lead them for the next 4 years. I tried to set up a virtual debate with you and Winston, and also reached out to mayoral candidate Jimmie Smith. And Winston declined to debate with you. He felt it was a waste of time. He felt that you're not going to be really effective, or you're really not going to be any a threat to him in the election. So, I just put it out there. And he'll be on. Actually, he'll be on tomorrow. For those who are watching, who's interested to hear what Councilman Winston Lindemann has to say, he'll be on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. It was originally set for 7, but he had some engagement or previous engagement that came up, and they pushed the time back. So, of course, he'll be on tomorrow night again at 8 p.m. for those who's interested to hear what Winston Lindemann has to say. But go ahead, Mr. Ray, with your response.
Yeah. Winston, he's afraid to debate me, and just like Jimmy, the strokes he had and the dementia that he's suffering with, he couldn't hang in there with me in a debate, and neither can Winston Lindemann, and he knows that. And this Bill Arlen House is financing and giving him his instructions on what to do, and he's thinking that he's going to just not have to debate. But this is what the commercials that I put out that's going to be coming out on WTOK all during the day for the next week. Here is the one. I say, Maria, and I realize this mayoral race is confusing. On the one hand, the Democrat Jimmie Smith refuses to debate or even answer questions about his decline in health. His campaign is being funded by rich city Republicans. On the other hand, you have the great white hope, Weston Lindemann, who is running on a get rid of corruption platform, yet he has a corrupt cemetery embezzler running him and his campaign. He also claims a Meridian police officer threatened to kill him, which scared him to go into hiding like a rat in a hole.
Okay. All
That's
right.
going to be coming on TV all this week up until the time comes, because they wouldn't debate, they wouldn't come out. They got so much baggage, and they know I was going to hit them with it, with the baggage. Like Weston, he smokes the marijuana. He got this little chick that's like to wear blue hair and hang around with pill poppers down there at the brick house with Arlen House, and it's so corrupt down there. I mean, it's just like a little hell sitting in the middle of Meridian. And
now, I would say, I know politics can be a dirty game.
It is a dirty game.
Is it? But I mean, aren't you a little bit kind of a little hard on the other candidate? I mean, why should who they date matters? I mean, I can see you going out to Winston and
because she could be the first lady. Actually, she would be the first lady of Meridian. Okay. And then she hanging out with pill poppers too. When you hang out with crows, your feathers might not turn black, but your heart will.
Okay.
And so if you hanging out with people like that, and look here, when I went down there to put this on WTOK, they didn't want to do it. I had to bring their racism out of them. I had to cleanse them down there. They didn't want to put this on the air and I thought it was because I called Arlen House a corrupt cemetery embezzler. I said, and they said, well, yeah, he might sue. I said, well, it's true. It's the truth. I say, you want me to go get the court records for you? So they kind of backed off. But the real thing they didn't want me to say was that Weston Lindemann was the great white hope. And so we went round and round. I had to convince them that they was racist first. Then they were going to have to call cooperative to see if they would put it on there. I say, put it on. I say, take a risk and put it on there anyway.
Let me ask you this. Now, I'm listening to your claims, and of course, you're entitled to them. But you're running as a Republican, but your tone is more of a physically conservative liberal. So why didn't you run as an independent candidate? Was it more of a strategy why you ran as a Republican because no other Republicans jumped in the race?
Strategy because there wasn't nobody else. I wouldn't have to go through the primary thing. Okay, yeah, well, I would only have to deal with the original election, that's what's coming up.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think you'll get some Republican support?
No, because they are all supporting Jimmie. See, they want Jimmie to be there so that he can be a puppet for them. They know Jimmie is not physically able, mentally able to be the mayor. They know that. But if they bring back Sherry Berry, who her husband used Meridian for their own piggy bank when they was in there, why would you bring back somebody that had already victimized you and victimized the city? The only reason is that they know that Sherry Berry will be right there next to his ear, telling him what to do next. Do this, do that. And that's what they are planning on doing. They know that they could not run a white person as a Republican and win. That would be out. So they chose to get Jimmie to run instead, and that's what they're doing. They think they smart. These white supremacists and Republicans, they think they know more than everybody, but they don't know more than me. I know that. They'll like you behind where I am.
Okay. All right, guys. You hear it first live here on Parks Investigator Live. Mr. Robert Ray, I tell you, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know what else to. I'm scared to ask you a question.
Let me say this here. I was dumbfounded when this Emma Surratt come on there and just blasted the Christians, and she's a Satanist, and just blasted. And Weston Lindemann is her friend.
Well, I'm
And
confused now. Who is this individual? I
this
don't.
individual came from Texas and have infiltrated the NAACP, and she talks positive about being a Satanist, and she said that Christians and Satans is pretty much the same. It's just that the Christian believe in a God and a devil, but the Satanists, they don't believe in God and the devil. They believe that they are God themselves and that they can take care of everything themselves. And they said, and she said, mostly the Satanist is a little bit better than the Christians. And,
now,
and
she's actually on. She's one of the viewers that's on live, and of course that's her comment there. I am not a Satanist, so you know, of course every candidate is entitled to their opinion, and of course,
if you're supporting something,
let me say this real quick, Mr. Ray. I got to put this out there. Again, every candidate is entitled to their opinion, and the views and opinions expressed on this program or strictly belong to the views of the guests, and not necessarily the views or reflected views of my end. So I just want to put that out there. But Mr. Ray, I tell you, you probably one of the most interesting candidates or person I've had on the program. And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying that.
Did you read it?
You're not afraid to say
what she said?
No, she said, I am not a Satanist. I mean, I'm not familiar.
Read what she said on her Facebook page. How she supported Satanism. Oh, they are okay. They are good people. And then she is infiltrated into the NAACP, and all of these is Christian people. And she doesn't say that these Satanists is better class of people than the Christians are. And they're not saying anything about it. They ain't checked up out it or nothing.
Let me
so
read let me read what she responded, since you did call her out. She said, I said Christians can be fake. I said the Church of Satan doesn't worship Satan or God. They are for themselves. Nothing's wrong with that.
She don't think anything is wrong with that. What does she think she is? She's in the Bible Belt. It's nothing but Christians down here. And when you say anything negative about a Christian, especially when you connect and deal with Satanists and trying to say that Satanists is a better character of people than Christians is, and nobody has checked on this stuff. I don't understand. It's just amazing.
Right. Again, guys, you're watching Parks Investigative Live. One of my most interesting shows that to date. I have Meridian Mayoral candidate Robert J. Ray, and regardless of what happened next week, Mr. Ray, we got to get you back on the program and talk some more. I tell you, you'll keep my ratings up, so we'll definitely invite you to the show. Let me go back. I think you done stirred up a hornet's nest, so she's responded.
But that's how naive Weston Lindemann is to be associated with anybody that will be talking about be positive on Satanism, and that's what he's doing. I mean, how's he going to explain that to all the black Christians out there and these preachers out there that he's done befriended a Satanist, a person that's saying positive things about Satan?
Well, Jesus hung out with the sinners, and so I guess, and I'm not trying to say he's Jesus. What I'm saying is that I don't see anything wrong. Maybe he's trying to win them over, show them his light, his Christianity. And maybe if they are Satanists or Satan believers, that they would probably, see the light inside of him and may want to see, hey, what is all this Christianity thing's about? So I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that. That's my opinion. Because you got to have, we're all here for a reason, and some people are here to win souls. So maybe that's his goal, and I don't know that to be the fact. But let me go back to her. She said, "Ismail Walker, guess I can't be in the NAACP. I am infiltrated it with my Satanism. Satanism. All right, Satanism. Excuse me.
What did you say? Say that again.
I'm gonna put it back up there for you to read.
Okay, let me get my glasses here.
Wait a minute now. Does chapter 4 have fix your vision yet?
Huh? I don't need it to drive.
Okay.
I just use it to protect my eyes.
I got you.
If I walk a guess, I can't be in the NAACP. I infiltrated it with by Satanism. That's exactly what you did, lady. That's exactly what you did. And for me, I'm surprised that these Christians in this Bible Belt people ain't came and looked you up for saying that kind of stuff. If they want to read what you put on your Facebook, they would definitely be censoring you at this point. But the Christians probably have read what you said.
Yeah.
And that's probably not. But if they read what you said, they wouldn't agree with any of that stuff you said. They would be censoring you.
Right. Well, and I'll say this, and it's not defending either or, but of course, I don't want this to get too out of hand. We want to stay to the fact that we have an election next Tuesday and why you should be elected. If she does believe in that, of course, that's her belief. That's her life. That she has that right. So we don't want to get too far off track, but she did respond. So I'm glad she was able to somewhat defend herself. Based off what you had mentioned. I don't think I'm friends with her. If I am, I have not seen that post that you're referring to. So that's why it all caught me off guard. So anyway, back to the original scheduled programming. There is an election next week in Meridian for mayor, and you're one of the three candidates who's vowing to be the mayor for Meridian for the next 4 years. Mr. Ray, if you are elected, what is the first thing you're going to do when you take office in July?
The first thing I'm going to do is have a talk with the police chief and tell him to and see if he's going to be on board with me in doing the systemic racism training for police officers. See, because what that's going to do, that's going to start bringing in money almost immediately. Because once we film the first session and stream that first session all over America, every police station in America going to say, they are doing what in Meridian, Mississippi? They're doing systemic racism training. That's what we need. What does that look like? Oh, we'll show you what it looked like for $200 per screen for one time. Now you got 12,000 police stations in America, and every one of them need this systemic racism training. And a lot of them is going to be trying to get it. And for us over, all of them are going to get it. That's going to bring in untold millions of dollars to the city of Meridian. That'll be the first thing I do.
Okay, all right. There you have it, guys. I know we started late, and I know some of you guys have to get up for work tomorrow. For those who are have the privilege of still working during the summer, I know some of, especially the educators, the teachers who are finally got their summer break. I wish I was one of y'all at this point in time to have a few months off. But for those who do have to get to work, we don't want to stay on too late. Mr. Ray, we appreciate you again for coming on to the program.
Okay, let me just read this. This absolutely. Is I got 2 commercials coming up on TV. They're gonna be coming up on doing the Kelly and Ryan show, the Jeopardy, and Judge Judy and Ellen. This is one of the commercials. I promise 3 things: eliminate the corruption and the systemic racism from the police department, then sell the same process to all police in America, which will bring in millions of dollars to Meridian. I will set up a fund for homeowners to borrow a no-interest loan to fix up their homes. I will open a center for the homeless, veterans, and any who suffer from bad mental health instead of being put in jail. And that's what they'll be hearing, and that's what will be going on all this week for me on WTOK.
All right, there you have it. Mr. Ray just announced that he will be running some paid advertisement on TOK, channel 11 for those who have the local channels. He gave you the 3 different videos that he's going to be airing, commercials, I should say, the spots, talking about his plan if elected mayor of Meridian. So just curious, out of curiosity, because I'm not one of the ones that want to go pull your campaign sheet to see how has the donation been? Has it been a struggle, or has it been a challenge, I should say, to raise funds during this election?
The only somebody that I was thinking that would give me some money would be the Republicans, but they didn't do it. Our little Chris Bullock out there, he said, we don't have any money. But they funding Jimmie Smith. They paying for all his stuff. He paying for anything. And then He said, I can't give you money, but I'll give you some names from some Republicans and I email them to you. I said, okay, that's good. I talked to them. Never got the list. Then after I made my statement, he come running out there. Oh, we can't support Mr. Ray. You know, his statement, our kids. He don't have any kids in Meridian. He went to school in Meridian. He ain't done none of that. He don't have any kids in Meridian. But this is the phoniness that's been in this campaign all the way through it. I'm the only one that have kept the genuine truth in this campaign. And it will be that way with me all the way to the end. Well, I will or not.
Okay. All right. There you have it. Mr. Robert J. Ray, Meridian mayor candidate. The election for those of the citizens of Meridian, don't forget, next Tuesday, June the 8th. And also, I think if you want to vote early, absentee voting is going on now up until Saturday, I believe, at noon, Saturday at City Hall. Am I correct? Okay. So if you're not going to be here next Tuesday, you have a legitimate reason, you can do early voting down there at the City Hall. And that'll be going on until this Saturday at 12 noon. And I hope I'm correct on that. I don't want to put no misinformation out there to the voters. That's not what it's intended for. So if I am wrong, someone please correct me on the comment section, because I live in the county and I'm not able to vote in this election. But again, the general election is next Tuesday, June the 8th, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So this time next Tuesday, a week from tonight, at this time, we should know who will be the next mayor of the city of Meridian. I'm hearing a lot of support going behind Mr. Lindemann. I'm also hearing a lot of support around Jimmie Smith, as well as yourself, Mr. Ray. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out next Tuesday. And I'll say, may the best man win. My prayers be to you as well as the other candidates. And the only thing I would say, have fun with it. Have fun, and let's see.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game.
Okay. All right. Say that again for the team in the back.
It's not whether you win or lose. It is how you play the game.
All right. You heard it right there.
And you see how I play it.
All right, Mr.
Robert. Right down the middle, genuine truth all the way.
All right. Now, is it genuine truth or is it genuine truth? Because I've been saying genuine truth. Genuine truth. Okay, I don't want to be sounding like one of those dumb people you was talking about. I don't have the best vocabulary, but I want to definitely be right on that. All right, Mr. Ray, it's a pleasure to have you on. We look to hear from you again, regardless of what happened next Tuesday. Hopefully, we can bring you back on the program and talk about something else, and we'll go from there. Again, guys, you're watching Parks Investigator Live. I'm your host, Investigator Parks, had special guests on, Mr. Robert J. Ray. Mr. Ray, one final thought before we get out of here.
It's just that if I lose, then the city people of Meridian lose, because these other two candidates not going to be able to do anything for them. Their kids, nobody. The police still going to be kicking them around and beating them up and sending them to jail and putting them down in that filthy county jail. If I lose this election, then the people of Meridian lose. That's all I got to share, and I'm anxious to move on.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who have commented. Inspire Walker, Amy, I saw you. Andrea, thank you so much. I see the live viewers on even YouTube. Thank you again for watching the program. If you would tune in tomorrow, if you're interested to hear what Winston Lindemann has to say, he'll be on the program 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Central Standard Time. He'll be on to share why he wants to be mayor also. Again, guys, you're watching Parks Investigative Live. Until we speak, enjoy life and living. Thank you so much for tuning in, and may God bless you.